Christmas is almost here and it is a very, very stressful time of year, especially for parents when your children are asking for everything in the toy shop and want to go and do everything that other children at school are saying that they're going to do. Plus, you may feel that you're being pulled in several different directions with things you've got to do with work and work Christmas evenings, and then you've got things that need doing at school, and then you've got to go and sort time that you're going to spend with your family and maybe your partner's family, and it just feels like you're being pulled in every single direction. And on top of all that, you've got to do Christmas food, Christmas presents, and everything else that goes with Christmas, and it can feel really, really overwhelming. In today's video, I want to give you some tips to make Christmas a little less stressful. There's going to be a few of these videos coming out where I'm going to give you tips to have a stress-free Christmas, but today I'm going to talk about activities and events that you and your family want to do and making it as stress-free as you possibly can. Hi, my name is Rachel. I'm a solo mum to one and I love Christmas, and I want to help you be able to afford Christmas without going into debt or breaking the bank and still be able to have a stress-free and magical time that Christmas is all about. So let's get straight into it, shall we? The first thing that I do when it comes to starting to have a stress-free Christmas is actually sit down with my son, because it's just my son and I. Or if you have a family, sit down with your family and say, what do you want to do for Christmas this year? Are there any activities you particularly want to go to? Do you want to go and visit Santa this year? Do you want to go to Panto this year? Do you want to go to church? Do you want to go to midnight mass? Do you want to have a movie night? Or do you want to spend a whole day baking Christmas cookies and then have a movie night? What are the things that you and your family really want to do this Christmas that is important to you? Sit down with your family, whether it's just you and your other child or children, or whether it's you and your partner and your children, or whoever it may be, because every family is different, and sit down with them and brainstorm loads of different ideas that you can all come up with that you would like to do this Christmas. That's the first thing that I do with my son, so I can make sure that we are doing the things that we really want to do. The next thing that I then ask my son to do is, out of all those things on the list, what are the 3 things that you would absolutely love to do that you do not want to miss out on this year? That maybe other things that you want to do we could possibly do the following year. But what are the 3 things that you do not want to miss out this year? Now, for my son, he wants to go and see Santa. He wants to go to the pantomime. And he wants to have a sleepover with his cousins and have a Christmas party evening and then have a Christmas breakfast the next morning. Those are the 3 things that are really, really important to him. So those are the 3 things that we are going to be doing. 3 things that I want to do. I want to bake some Christmas cookies. I want to have a movie night with my son, and I just want to spend time with him. That is literally all I want to do. Those are the 3 things that are important to me. So now I've got those 3 things, I asked my son, what's priority to you? Like, what is the one thing that you cannot wait to do this Christmas? It's just seeing Santa. And then the next thing, what can you not wait to do, would be having a sleepover with his cousins. And then finally, it'll be going to Panto. So those are the 3 things that he wants to do, and they are in priority order. And I've also got the 3 things that I want to do, and they're in priority order. So do that with your whole family and see what's important and what's important, but if you don't get to do it, it's okay. And that way you get to see what they really want to do rather than have all these different ideas about Christmas. And it gives you and your partner, if you have a partner, a chance to do the things that you want to do as well. Before you start building a plan and adding in all these different things that the kids and you and your partner want to do, there's a few other things that you need to take into consideration that will make your life a lot less stressful. Number 1 is take into consideration and be compassionate that every single person in your family will have a different personality trait. So for one of your children, they might be very energetic, very loud, want to go somewhere really busy, lots of lights, lots of noise and everything else. But you might have another child that likes quiet, who gets scared of noises, who doesn't like crowds. So you've got to be considerate and compassionate for all personality traits. Now, saying that, you don't have to not do one thing because somebody else doesn't like it. You can still go and do that thing that is crazy and noisy and everything else. It just means that you need to be more prepared for the one that doesn't like it. So say they don't like noise or loud places or crowds of people, maybe take them a fidget toy that they can fidget with to take their mind off things. Maybe wearing ear defenders could be another thing that they could do as well. All those different things that you could do to prepare them for the noisy experience that they're going to go on because it's important to one of the children. This could also mean by taking specific snacks and taking your own lunch to places where you're going. So where we're going to see Santa this year is kind of like a farm area, but we'll be taking our own lunch. One, because my son can be quite fussy, and two, because it helps cut costs. I mean, why go and spend a lot of money in these cafeterias and these coffee shops and these restaurants of the places that hold the Santa events or anything else, because they're not cheap? Or you can just take your own packed lunch where you know your kids are going to eat it because it's the food that they like, and you know that it's going to save you a lot more money than it would be if you're going to go and buy dinner or lunch or anything else for all of your family. So doing things like that will help you cut the cost, but it's all about being prepared for all personality traits. More things that you're going to need to look into before you start making a plan of when you're going to fit everything in is to actually make a budget. And now this isn't just about your finance budget, even though that is really, really important. So the things that the children want to do, shop around, have a look and see where places are, which ones are close by so it's not going to cost you so much in travel, which ones are the cheapest cost but still get a very good experience, and even look for things that are free. So we have a Tesco near us, and on their Facebook page, they have just announced that in certain dates in December, there'll be a Santa there that children can visit for free and still get a gift. So if you are on a really tight budget and they want to go and see Santa, go and see if there's any free events where Santa's going to be, or events that you can pay £1 or £2 for. I remember when my son was only 1 year old, we went to the local community centre and I think we paid £2 for him to go and see Santa, because at that age, they don't really know who Santa is. They're still learning. So I just went somewhere that was very local and was either cheap or free that he could go to save me money. And with the way the world is right now, cheap and free are two things that everybody needs to start doing a bit more of. So that's budgeting when it comes to activities or events. So and another event is Panto. Now I've got a theatre in my local town and they have a Panto there every single year. And yes, it's a very, very good Panto, but the tickets are also very, very expensive. But in the next town over, in their theatre, they also have a Panto and the tickets are half the cost of what I would pay in my local town. Fortunately, my son and his year group have been offered the chance to go to the local theatre in our town this year to go and watch Panto, which was a lot cheaper to go through the school than it was for me to actually pay. However, I have still purchased tickets in the next town over because it was very, very cheap and I always budget for it every year anyway. But look at different pantomimes if they want to go to Panto. Look at different events, and is there one in the next town over that's going to take you another 20 minutes to drive to, but it's still going to save you a lot more money. So do have a look at your budget when it comes to events, when it comes to seeing Santa and all those activities that you do. Also look at your budget when it comes to your groceries, your presents, and all those other Christmas expenses, but there will be some more videos on budgeting for food and presents and everything else in the next few weeks, so do subscribe so you don't miss that video. But one thing that we don't really budget for is our time. So when it comes to Christmas, like I mentioned earlier on, we're pulled in every single direction, but we don't actually manage our time correctly, and it feels like by the time Christmas comes, no wonder everybody has an afternoon nap on Christmas Day, because everyone's just exhausted from the whole build-up of it. So take into account your time. With the lead up to Christmas, everyone's going to pull you in every direction. But the days that you have available, make sure you're doing the things that you and your family want to do. That's the most important thing. Make sure that you're managing your time. And let's go back to the list quickly and the 3 things that your children want to do. One of your children might want to go to a Christmas event like a fairground or something crazy like that, very noisy, very loud. And maybe your other child wants to stay at home and make cookies or watch a Christmas movie as a family. try and merge the two together. So maybe you can say to your one child, we're going to go out in the morning quite early, we're going to get there very early, and we're going to go to your activity that you want to do, but we're going to leave there at such and such time, let's just say 2 o'clock. Therefore, we can come home, we've still got time to bake some cookies and sit down as a family and watch a Christmas movie. Therefore, you've done two activities that your children want to do in one day, one very busy and crazy and one more mellow and chilled. And your children are both going to be really, really happy because they both got what they wanted. And I'm guessing as a parent, sitting down and watching a Christmas movie with your family, there's nothing better, is there? It's one of the favourite pastimes ever is sitting down as a family with some Christmas treats and watching a Christmas movie together. So see if you can merge the two together to give you that more time to be with your family. Also, when it comes to November and December, things do get a lot busy. There's a lot happening, a lot going on. So look at the weekends. How many weekends do we actually have? Are we actually including downtime in that as well? So if you've got a work Christmas do, if you are a drinker and you like to have a drink, especially at Christmas time, the next day, is that a downtime day for you and your family? Or have you booked in another event which you know you might not even enjoy because you might not feel so good? So make sure that you are adding in downtime as well as doing Christmas activities and fun with the family as well. But now that we have done a big brainstorm as a family, the things that we want to do, not necessarily have to do, but what we want to do, we've took in consideration of family members' personality traits so that everybody's kind of getting what they would like to do. You've prioritised your brainstorming list down to 3 things per person, so you can try and add them all in. And if you don't add them all in, make sure that you're adding the one thing that they really want to do across the board. So you're definitely doing at least one thing that everybody wants to do. You've looked at your budget for food, groceries, events, activities, Christmas dues, decorations, and obviously you are looking at your time budget to make sure that you've got enough time within the next couple of months with your family, with your friends, and doing the things that you really want to do. The next thing then is to build a plan. To look for the events that you may want to go to and start booking things in. Now, I booked in our pantomime in September and I booked in to go and visit Santa in October. So that I already had those things planned because those are the things that we really wanted to do. When making a plan, book anything that needs to be booked and paid for first so that you know you've got that in. Then start booking things and adding things in as and when you can that goes with your schedule and it goes with your partner schedule and your family schedule. Now, if you don't get to do everything, do the most Christmassy themed activities before Christmas, and then maybe just after Christmas, maybe you could do something else. So if you didn't get to sit down and watch a Christmas movie together as a family, maybe you can do that between Christmas and New Year when no one knows what day it is or what's going on or what's happening. So maybe some of the activities or some of the things that you wanted to do before Christmas and you couldn't do them, you could do them in the unknown week between Christmas and New Year. So maybe you could add things in there as well. When making that plan, take into consideration your budget, people's personalities, the things that you really want to do, and build that plan with your family. Now, one thing I do with my ex-husband is I always build a plan and then I give it to him to check over. If he finds anything that doesn't work for him, he gives it back to me and I keep adjusting it until we're both happy. So if it's easier for just one person to make the plan and then go and check it over with people and then go back and forth, do that. Or if it's easier for you all to sit at the table and work the plan out and work out schedules and see what you can do, and then you can do it that way if you wanted to. So whatever works for you and your family. What I will say is when you've got that plan in place, that is your plan. If something else comes in, you don't have to do it. You can say no, which is my next tip. It's okay to say no. You don't have to do everything. Sometimes we feel so much pressure and so much guilt if we don't do the things that school are telling us that we need to do, or your family is saying, well, if I can't see you then I can't see you until after Christmas. Okay, That's fair enough. I'm not probably going to get to see my dad until the new year when it comes to Christmas, because with my ex-husband having my son and myself having him and going off and doing the things that we want to go and do this Christmas, there's not that much space to fit in my dad, to see my dad. But we will see him, we will talk to him on the phone, and maybe we'll go and see him in the new year, because between Christmas and New Year, my dad goes away. So the time that I do have free, my dad's not around. So it's just the way our schedules have unfortunately worked this year. But I will still see my dad. I'll just see him in the first few days of 2025. So if you have to say no, it's okay to say no. You don't have to say yes to everything. You don't have to agree to everything. You don't have to feel guilt or shame for doing something that you don't want to do because it's going to upset someone else. What's important, I feel, for me, is that I get to spend Christmas doing the things that I want to do with my son and doing the things that my son wants to do. That's what's important to me. So work out your priorities. What's the most important thing? And if you want to say no, say no. If work has a Christmas works do and it's meals and drinks after, but you don't want to do it all, or you can't afford to do it all, just go for drinks, or just go for the meal, or don't go. You don't have to go if you don't want to or you can't afford to. You figure out what is priority to you. You figure out whether or not you can put it in your budget, and then you go and do whatever it is that you can do. But it really is okay to say no. That's the tips I got for you to have a bit of a stress-free Christmas this year. There are more stress-free Christmas ideas when it comes to groceries, decorations, presents, and everything else to do with Christmas. But this video is mainly focused on activities and events that you want to do with your family and how to make sure that you can prioritize them to have a stress-free Christmas. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know whatever stress-free tips you've got when it comes to activities and events and family time and everything else. Let me know in the comment box below. I'd love to know more. I'd love to learn more so that I can share it with more people. Thank you so much for watching. If you did like the video, do give it a thumbs up so it can reach more people and help them have a stress-free Christmas as well. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to know more Christmas budgeting tips, frugal living tips, how to save money, how to budget, and everything else to do with money, and how to have the best Christmas and the best life you can have without spending an absolute fortune. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of those future videos. Thank you so much for watching. I hope whenever you're watching this, you're having a good morning, good day, good evening, and I will see you on the next one. Bye guys.